Hello, this is Rico Cavilla. I want to welcome you to this episode of the Fearless Aging podcast. Now, as you know, if you've listened to any of our 256 podcasts, we're all about giving you the best information that we possibly can, my guests and I, to help you greatly improve your overall health and well-being. So we interview some of the top wellness experts in the world, all about mind, body, and spiritual wellness. This is a special episode that I just had to do myself to get this off my chest. Because this is about the wellness of America, and this is about the mental health of America. So I'm still trying to get over the shock of the election that Trump actually got reelected. Now, if you voted for Trump, I hope you will at least hear me out. Please hear me out. If you didn't vote for Trump, well, maybe this will be helpful for you as well. Okay, so I have to admit that I was completely confident that Kamala Harris would win the election. You know, I was just encouraged to see all her large crowds at her rallies, so enthusiastic. And I totally was. I was stunned. I was shocked at the outcome. If you think about this is the way I thought about it. How could a message of fear and hate and revenge and racism and taking us backwards sound better than a message of inclusion, of optimism, of moving forward with joy? How could that not sound better? I really thought that the majority of Americans were intelligent, decent, informed people that would support our democracy and a woman president. Unfortunately, I was wrong. Wow. You know, we have many problems in America, and I think we have a big lack of mental wellness and spiritual consciousness as well. Unfortunately, it seems we have a majority of ignorant, uninformed people, many who still are racist and sexist. I'm afraid that's true. Did you know that the stats on a mental illness in America is 23% of Americans have experienced some form of mental illness. So for me, after seeing the results of the election, it seems like the number's gone up quite a bit, maybe 60% of mental illness, or at least mental lapses. Again, how could anyone choose a person who, not only in my opinion, is and the opinion of most people who have worked for him and who knows him well, been in his own administration, in the military, leaders, support someone like Donald Trump, who is the poster child for most of the negative qualities that we human beings can display. I mean, you would think this certainly disqualifies anybody from being a president. Being a compulsive liar, bragging on themselves, always complaining, spreading fear, being angry, wanting revenge, being dishonest, being a criminal, demeaning others, calling anyone who doesn't agree with him a nasty, stupid person. It's a clear sign of someone who's really insecure. They're weak and they're really an incompetent person. Put that together with someone who tried to take over our democracy and overrun an election. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And then again, combine this with a person who's a convicted felon who's got all these other counts against him. He's been a sexual abuser of women. And so, again, someone who wouldn't accept defeat. You know, he actually should be indicted for manslaughter because he did incite the riot. I mean, we've got him on tape and we've got people saying that he did. And that because I know at least one of the Capitol Guards was killed. So Trump should be held for manslaughter. A person died. I don't know why we haven't heard anybody talking about that. And to top it off, many psychologists who had been watching his latest rallies and his speeches with his just rambling on with nonsensical say he's really shows the first signs of becoming demented. He's become demented. He's a moron. I mean, how does this qualify anybody to be the president of the United States? And is this somebody who you want to be a role model for your children? I don't know. How is this possible? Aside from any party affiliation or any policies, how could anyone, what's commonly called, be in your right mind, would vote for someone like this? It's just mind blowing for me. So why did this happen? Well, as you know now, there's all the pundits out there. They got a bunch of a variety of different things. Why this happened? Blah 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 blah. And you know what? I think Kamala Harris did a great job. I mean, can you imagine how hard it is to all of a sudden say, "Hey, you're the presidential candidate. You got 100 days to put together your campaign, your policies, and get out and inspire and motivate people to vote for you." I mean, what could be harder than that? And she did a fantastic job, just jumped right into it. And she did a great job. Obviously, she missed some good opportunities. She had a few good gaps. She could have done better, but I thought she did a great job. But you know, I think we should put, if there's any blame to be put on, it should be on the Democratic National Election Committee. What were they thinking? I mean, I'm certainly no political strategist, and I could see that right away. I mean, all the polls showed that the number one and two concerns on most people was the economy, inflation, and immigration. And abortion and character and democracy was below that. And yet, they put way too much of attention on showing how bad of a person Donald Trump is and on abortion, which are big issues, but people were just concerned mostly about their pocketbook and what's going on with the economy. So, and then the other thing is, I think American women really let us down too. Again, I cannot understand how any woman would vote for Donald Trump. I mean, he totally disrespects women. He's abused them. He's been convicted of abusing them, talks down to them. He wants to take away their bodily health decisions away from them. How could any woman vote for someone like that? It's just mind blowing. Anyway, I think the root cause of this mental mass illness shows us really how far we've come as people of this nation, how far off we are. Unfortunately, you know, starting with the big corporations and big pharma and big agriculture and all these people, it's all about the money. It's all about the bottom line, how much money you can make. Doesn't matter how much we're polluting the environment. Doesn't matter how much we're taking advantage of people. Doesn't matter how we're not producing things that are really of value and good health for people. It's just all about the money. And unfortunately, so many people have got into that trip as well. All they're concerned about is how much money they can make. And they don't focus on really what is really going on in our life. What are our core values of honesty and learning how to get along with each other and creating community and creating wellness among each other and learn how to cooperate and get along and honesty and integrity and compassion and kindness. Those things have just been thrown out the door. All we care about is our own personal pocketbooks. And we're just so susceptible to all this fear mongering and what might happen and all these lies and lies and lies. And so, unfortunately, for so many, pursuing spiritual principles are secondary to pursuing material wealth. And I think one of the big reasons why we're so distracted these days, again, we're so stressed out, we're so in a rush society, thinking we got to work so hard and we got to make all this money. And that's one of the big reasons why so many people are chronically ill and are dying way too young as well. And that's one of the biggest things that we're always talking about on the show. And also we're so distracted, with all of our devices. People can't get their eyes off their phone. And again, it's what I like to call is unsocial media. People waste so much time and energy on all this unsocial media stuff that again, they're just totally distracted from what's truly important and what their life really should be about. So unfortunately, that's where we're at. So let's talk about even the slogan of MAGA, Make America Great Again. Well, first of all, in my opinion, America's never been great. No countries have been great. Think about this. Yes, we are good. America's good, but it's certainly not great. We have a lot of great people. We've done a lot of great things. But if someone says America is great, then we certainly have a different opinion or a concept of what great means. How can America be great when we had our start by coming to this continent and just uh, almost annihilating the Native American people that were here, and then round them up and put them on reservations. Then we had slavery, and racism still persists today. We had slavery. We had women's suppression. Look how long it took battles to get women to even vote. So we've been a country of killing people, repressing people, of racism, of sexism, of just really only trying to really make it great for the few people, for the few. And like today, how can we say that it's great when there's so many people that are living under the poverty level in America? There's people that are going hungry in America. There's a lot of homeless people. How can that be great? It's not great when many people are not living, have a decent standard of living. It's not great when we have such an income disparity, when most people are barely struggling to make it, and what is it, something like 5% of the people own 90% of the wealth? How is that great? We had the most mental illness anywhere in the world. Most people in prison. We have by far the most mass shootings. We have suicides, the most suicides, particularly among teenagers. We have one of the most unhealthiest countries in the world. We're like the fattest country. We don't even rank in the top 20 for overall quality of health. We don't rank in the top 20 for longevity. So we got a lot of things to work on. So we have a dysfunctional government, which is not serving the people. So I could go on and on, but that's not the point. The point is, you see, it's not that we're not a good country and we don't have a lot of great people and great ideas, and we have a great constitution, although it needs to be updated. But we got huge problems. We can't put our head in the sand and say, we're great, we're going to make it great again. We've never even been great. So people, you've got to wake up and realize really what's happening. So I guess what we really need the slogan, instead of make America great again, how about let's make America well, and then we can make America great. Maybe it should be the new MAG movement, just make America great. That's what we need to do. So I think the message also here, though, is one of optimism and knowing that we can do that in spite of this major setback. All the spiritual teachings that I know of and people who are and messages from the creative source say that on this planet the light is becoming stronger. And the light is overtaking the darkness, even though we got this setback here for the whole world. So the light is going to prevail. So it's just up to us to not give up, keep pushing forward. So my Indian message is, America, let's wake up, let's stand up, let's speak up, and let's make America well, and let's make America great. I know we can do this. You just have to keep working on it. So that's my message. I hope it rings true to you. And some people will say, okay, we got to do this. All right. Thank you very much. And until next time, we'll get back on talking about how we can improve our overall health and well-being and live a much longer, joyful, productive, and great life. All right. Thanks so much for listening.